Welcome back. All right, so 4 games tonight in the National Hockey League, all on the board here. Of course, the 2 late games end up going kind of late. All right, so that being unsurprising and all, let's go ahead and jump in. We'll start off talking about the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's Montembeault versus Stolarz. They had a nice tribute to Ken Dryden before the game. Of course, he was a president of the Toronto Maple Leafs at one point, and he was a Hall of Fame goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens. McCabe's denied from the slot early in the game. Riley has a rush chance that's held. Good start to the game, and then Toronto scores. It's a face-off win, and at 1 minute into the game, McMahon tips one 5-hole, the assist to Nylander and Tavares. Habs look to respond. Some good pressure there. Robertson then has a rush chance. That's held. There's an offensive zone penalty by Laine, so that puts the Toronto Maple Leafs on the power play, which leads to a shorthanded goal. And Kapanen gets his first NHL goal. Oliver Kapanen at 5:39 for Montreal, shorthanded. So instead of Toronto going up 2-0, it's a 1-1 tie. He wires that one on a turnover rush. The Habs then finish the kill. They rush after the kill is done. So good game for Montreal thus far. Domi has a rush chance. That's caught and held. The Habs draw a power play. That's killed off. There's a press by Montreal with 2.5 minutes left. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period. Early press by Toronto. Demidov has a net drive that's saved. And then at 1:30, Zach Bolduc with his first goal as a Montreal Canadian. He scores on a rebound. Gallagher and Doc with the assists. I told you Bolduc could get on the board for them. Habs then press for another. They have some momentum. Suzuki to Hudson near miss. It's all Habs at this point, but the Leafs would press and they would score. Yarncroke gets a rebound, buried 5-hole. Yarncroke had trouble getting goals last year. Maybe this is a good sign for his season this year. Riley and Lorentz with the assists at 5 minutes and 40 seconds. We have a 2-2 tie. The Habs press for a response. The shots are 8-4 Toronto with 8.5 minutes left. As I realize, I'm just taking too many notes, so I'm trying to drop it down. Early in the season, it happens every year, right? So the Leafs, I don't want to run out of room and need the tiny board. The Leafs press with 7 minutes left. We get a power play for Montreal. That's killed off. The Leafs press with 2 minutes left. We get a post for Tavares on a rush. There's some pushing and punching on a hold by Stolarz. It's 2-2 after 2. Third period. The Blue Jays chant breaks out. I'd like to congratulate the Blue Jays tonight as well for beating the Yankees. Anytime that the Yankees are knocked out of the playoffs, this baseball fan is a very happy Blue Jays/Red Sox fan, and since they knocked out the Sox, I was really rooting for the Blue Jays to knock them out. 3 minutes into the period, the only shot on net is for Montreal. Leafs draw a power play. That's killed off. No shots on net, so no momentum out of that. Montreal presses at 8 minutes. Lorentz can't bury one on a net drive. Nyes is robbed on a breakaway, and then Riley buries one from the inner slot. He scores from Nyes and Michelli at 9:02. So Matthias Michelli on the board with an assist in his first game with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Robertson's denied as the Leafs seek another. The goaltender pull happens with 1:50 left, and at 18:28, Matthews hits the empty net from Nylander. The goalie pull happens again. And at 19:45, Nylander scores from Lorentz and Tavares. Toronto wins this one 5-2, so they're 1-0 to start the season. Montreal drops to 0-1. Shots on net, 11-8 Montreal in the first, 13-9 Montreal in the second, 9-6 Toronto in the third. Final shots 30-28 for Montreal. Both teams go 0-2 on the power play. The hits 37-28 for Toronto. Montembeault 23 saves on 26 shots. Stolarz, excellent night for him. 28 saves on 30 shots. All right, moving along. The other early game was Boston-Washington. Swayman versus Thompson. Geekie has a breakaway that's defended, does not get to the net. Then there's an offensive zone penalty by Pasternak. That puts the Capitals on the power play. Things get pushed in a hole by Swayman. Leonard has a slot shot that's kicked aside, and that power play is killed off. Shots are only one apiece at 5 minutes. Capitals not really generating very much 5-on-5 in terms of shots in this game. Hampus Lindholm nearly scores on his own goal. So good on Swayman to be aware of what's going on, and maybe Hampus wants to keep a better eye on that puck. We get a power play for Boston. Mittelstad's denied. The Caps clear it out. They do kill that off. The Bruins press with 9 minutes left in the period. The Caps get a power play. That's killed off. McAvoy has a rush chance. That's held. Geekie to Pasternak near miss in the Cap zone. With 46.3 seconds left, Washington gets their third power play of the game. So that runs to the end of the period, but we have no goals, so no score. We go to the second period. We get 55 seconds of 5-on-3 early in that second period as Charlie McAvoy goes to the box. The Bruins survive it. Swayman, solid, makes 3 saves during that period of time. And honestly, Swayman, great game tonight by Jeremy Swayman, if I do say so myself. So Caps press, near miss for Beauvillier. Roy has a slapper that's held. We get some pushing after that. Dowd is denied on a net drive. Sandin has a screenshot that's held. Wilson's thrown some big hits. He's challenged to a fight, and he says no. So that's one way that he's changed. He picks and chooses his fights a little better than he did when he was younger. Ovechkin to Protas, near miss as the Caps get some pressure. Asimont is denied on a 4-on-1 rush. So Boston had chances. And then at 12:07 is Pastrnak firing one past a screen into the net to make it 1-0 Boston. Zadorov and Geekie with the assists. The Caps draw a power play. That's killed off. Protas has a sharp angle shot. That's held. Things get pushy on a hold by Swayman. The Caps are blocking a path to the net pretty well. Boston only had 10 shots through the first 40 minutes, but they have the lead 1-0. So third period, the Caps press at a minute and a half. The Bruins block. Things get pushy on a hold by Thompson. Shots are 2-0 for Boston 4 minutes into the period. Sort of has a wrister that's held, and I put right there, Swayman back with a question mark. Like, this looks like the Jeremy Swayman of before last season. And that's important because it looks like if Boston's going to win games, they're going to have to claw them out. It's not going to be pretty if Boston's going to get themselves back above the playoff line. They're going to play a very similar style to what Washington did in 23-24 when they clawed their way in. The Caps press at 6.5 minutes. There's some near misses. And then at 7:03 is the aforementioned Tom Wilson. He buries one from the slot to tie the game at 1. Chychrun and Protas with the assists. But Boston draws themselves a power play, and they score on it. At 7:41, it's Elias Lindholm on a rush, and a fantastic pass by Pastrnak. The other assist to Zacha. So 7:41, meaning 38 seconds after it's a tie game, Boston gets the lead back. Surprises me, too. Kuznetsov has a rush chance. That's held. The teams trade rushes and turnovers. The goalie pull happens with 1 minute and 50 seconds left, same as it did in that game. The Caps call a timeout with 1:04 left. Whatever they discussed does not work. At 19:02, Geekie hits the empty net. Pastrnak and Elias Lindholm with the assists. And Geekie rewarded for some good play in the first period, which didn't go into the net. In this case, it does, makes it 3-1. Washington pulls the goalie again. They're not able to generate anything, so Ovechkin still on 895 goals. With the win, Boston, of course, 1-0. Washington 0-1. I'm not doing the standings board tonight. It doesn't make any sense. There's only 14 or 13 teams that have played games. Shots on net, 8-4 Washington in the first, 17-6 Washington in the second, 11-10 Boston in the third. Boston had more shots in the third period than they did in the first and second put together. Final shots, 35-21 for Washington. Power plays, Boston 1 for 2. Washington 0 for 5. The hits, 37-34 for Washington. Swayman, 34 saves on 35 shots. Thompson, 18 saves on 20 shots. All right, next up, Calgary and Edmonton. Wolf versus Skinner in this one. That is a new magnet. Thanks for noticing. Early press by the Oilers. They're kept to the outside. The only shot on net belongs to Calgary 3.5 minutes in. So kind of a quiet start to this. Good flow. Not a lot of whistles, but that also means probably not a lot of shots. Howard has a rush that's blocker to side. Isaac Howard had a good game. He doesn't get a goal, but honestly, if he keeps playing like this, Howard's going to put up some points this year. Amberson has a net feed that's blocked. There's a delay of game. That gives the Oilers the power play. Near miss for Draisaitl in close, and then on a tic-tac-toe play, it's Nugent-Hopkins from Draisaitl McDavid at 9:53, putting the Oilers up 1-0. Flames then get a power play. That's killed off. There's some sticky and pushy, so the high sticks and everything, all fencing on a hold by Wolf. The Oilers would score again at 16-11. Mangiapane roofs one far corner. McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins with the assists. If Mangiapane can wire him like that, he's back too. So it's 2-0 for the Oilers after 1. Second period. Oilers press at 1.5 minutes. The Flames are really struggling to get shots at this point in the game. They're just not able to get to the net. The Oilers press again at 4.5 minutes. Ekholm has a tip shot that's held. There's some pushing. The shots are 4-3 for the Oilers at 6.5 minutes. Oilers draw a power play. That leads to a shorthanded rush by Backlund, which Skinner saves and holds on to. And then at 8:32, it happens. Leon Draisaitl with the power play marker. That's goal number 400. Tomaszek and Nugent-Hopkins with the assists. At this point in the game, it's 3-0 for the Oilers, and Calgary has a grand total of 8 shots on net. Now, for Tomaszek, you got to feel for him, because this is his first National Hockey League point. But is he going to get the puck? And this was the debate during the broadcast as well. I watched the Oilers broadcast. So Draisaitl gets the puck for goal number 400, but that first point, do you cut the puck in half? Anyways, whole other discussion. So there's a near miss for Kadri from a sharp angle, and then at 12:40, Gridden gets his first National Hockey League goal. He scores from Kadri and Coronado. Now, technically, it goes off Philp into the net, but it's a goal. It counts. It's his first goal. That Gridden kid, he's pretty darn good. I think the Flames have themselves a top 6 forward there. So that gets the Flames on the board. It's 3-1. Then we get a power play for the Flames, and they score on it. It's Zeri. He bats it out of the air into the net. The assist to Klapka at 14:47. They reviewed it for a high stick, and they decided, nope, that's a good goal. There were angles that it looked close, but in the end, there wasn't anything that definitively showed it above the bar. So that means it's a 3-2 lead for the Oilers after 2. Third period, 40 seconds in, Stuart Skinner or Evan Bouchard. I don't know who you blame for this, but when a puck is sitting in front of Skinner and Bouchard's just kind of skating by, somebody's got to do something. Like, Skinner's got to just, fling it out of there or something or cover it. But for Coleman, he's like, all right, well, I'll take it. And Coleman puts it in the net. So it's October. It's the first game of the season. It's a bit of a brain fart. You guys can decide. Should Bouchard have just taken that puck? Because clearly Skinner was going to leave it for him. Or should Skinner have covered it before Blake Coleman came in? Or did Coleman call for it? Which is kind of rude. Anyways, that ties the game at 3. Flames press for the lead. There's some pushing and high sticking on a hold by Skinner. The Flames draw a power play. That's killed off. No shots on net, so no momentum coming out of that. Shots are 4-2 for Calgary at 8.5 minutes. The Oilers then get a power play. That's killed off. Howard mishandles one on a net drive. Rookie. Happens. He'll get it. He'll figure it out. The Oilers press with 2 minutes left, and then with 1:37 left, an offensive zone penalty to Frederick. And the Bruins fan in me goes, yeah, Trent Frederick will do that. That is one thing with Frederick. He's a good player, but he does take a lot of penalties. Coronado has a backhand. That's caught and held. Then there's a shorthanded 3-on-2 by Edmonton, which kind of misfires, and we're going to overtime. In the overtime, the Oilers finish the kill. McDavid has a wrister. That's held. Gridden to Anderson. There's a picked-off play there. And then Gridden fires one wide on a fast break. So he had opportunities. The Oilers get a power play. Weegar was livid with that call. Felt that McDavid should have got a call as well. I have a feeling Oiler fans are going to say, no, should have been Weegar's penalty. I have a feeling Flames fans are going to say, actually, it should have been offsetting. These things happen. But it doesn't matter. We go to the shootout. It takes until round 8. Nazem Kadri scores in the shootout. The Flames with an upset victory tonight. They go to 1-0. The Flames are 1-0. The Oilers 0-1 with the shootout loss, of course. Shots on net, 9-4 Edmonton in the first, 11-7 Edmonton in the second, 9-8 Edmonton in the third, and 6-3 Edmonton in the overtime. Final shots, 35-22 for the Oilers. That's the Wolf effect. Power plays, 1-for-4 for Calgary, 2-for-4 for Edmonton. The hits, 35-23 for the Flames. Wolf saved 32 out of 35. Skinner saved 19 out of 22. And like I said, that tying goal by Coleman, it's one of those plays. But it's early in the season, so you don't want to make too much of a big deal out of it. But anyways, last game of the night, the LA Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights. So it's Forsberg versus Hill because Kemper, of course, played last night against Colorado. The Kings had the early jump. Kempe has a net drive chance. That's held. Vegas presses at 3 minutes. Vegas then draws a power play, and they score on it. No, the Kings draw a power play, and they score on it. There we go. That's what I meant to say. It's early in the season for me, too, so there may be some moments where I say things that may not be 100% accurate. I'm also very old. All right, so Kuzmenko scores from Kopitar and Fiala at 4:41, so that warms the cockles of my heart because Kuzmenko's a good player. It's nice to see that he's picking up where he left off in the playoffs with the Kings last year. Vegas looks to respond. The shots, though, are 4-0 LA 7 minutes in, so Vegas off to a slow start. Net feed to Barbashev is defended. Vegas presses at 9 minutes. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. During that, the referee is informed that he sucks. It's the first time it's on the board. Welcome to the 25-26 season. Ref, you suck chant. Although now we're starting to hear that in wrestling. Then at 11:57 on a fast break, Byfield scores unassisted. Nice deke as well to get it past Hill. 2-0 in favor of the LA Kings. Vegas draws a power play. That's killed off. Kopitar to Kempe at the Vegas net. That gets picked off. But it's 2-0 LA after one. Second period. Barbashev to Marner near miss. And then at 2 minutes and 10 seconds on a rush, Dorofeev off of a turnover wires one near corner, which generally goaltenders, if they're letting them in short side, they're not happy with that. So I would imagine Anton Forsberg won't be happy with that goal. Gets Vegas on the board, gets the crowd into it. It is now 2-1. Kings press at 3.5 minutes. The shots are 4-0 Vegas at 5 minutes. So Vegas, having dealt with the slow start in the first, they're not starting slow in the second. Eichel has a screenshot that saved. Ceci has a net drive chance that's kicked aside. Carlson has a rush chance that's saved. Byfield prevents a Marner goal. Marner wanted a call. I think all the Vegas fans wanted a call. They didn't, and from the sounds of it, the TNT crew wanted a call as well. I feel like it's early for me to discuss it, so we'll just shove that aside. I'm not going to talk about announcing tonight or any of that, but they should have had Vegas pom-poms. Anyways, so Malott then scores. Now, this goal was originally given to Armia, but it was pretty obvious it went in off of Malott. Now, that's his first NHL goal. It doesn't matter how it goes in, just that it does, and it's a goal. The assists to Armia and Turcotte at 13:41. So for Yoel Armia, that's his first point as an LA King. Then there's a one-timer, or it's a one-timer from the right circle by Armia that deflects in off of Malott. Things get punchy as Turcotte takes an offensive zone penalty, and I understand why things are punchy. That was a dangerous play. I don't have the wheel of discipline here for this. I'm not necessarily going to use that tonight. We'll see if Department of Player Safety says anything tomorrow, but they did give a 5-minute major. There are times where Department of Player Safety feels that a game misconduct, a 5-minute major, that's enough. We'll see if they feel like that's enough tomorrow. At any rate, you could feel the game turn when that penalty happened. Vegas is a team that if they're kind of sleepy and they're not playing all that well, do not make them angry. Just don't make them angry. So it's a 5-minute penalty, and as soon as we get onto the power play side of things, well, Dorofeev scores. Second goal of the period. Stone and Eichel with the assists at 17:32. It's a cross-crease pass and in. Then we get a minute and 13 seconds of 5-on-3 for Vegas. So the Kings are in trouble. And during the 5-on-4 on the other side of it, Dorofeev with the hat trick. So that's the third career hat trick for Dorofeev. The assist to Stone and Eichel. So same scoring play. This is at 19:14 of the second period. And so for Vegas, this is now a 3-3 tie. So we go to the third period. Vegas presses at 2.5 minutes. Laferriere has a chance that's blocked out on a rush. And then Eichel on a rush scores on a one-timer. The assist to Marner and Barbashev at 5:06. So Mitch Marner with his first point as a Vegas Golden Knight. Vegas is ahead 4-3. It feels like the Kings are probably done. It's the second half of a back-to-back. They lost against Colorado last night, and they didn't seem to have energy at this point of the game. So then Vegas looks for another. They have momentum, and at 8:43 on a tic-tac-toe play, Barbashev scores. The assists on this one to Eichel and Marner. So Eichel had a great night, but Marner also gets a couple of assists in his debut with the Vegas Golden Knights. Then Vegas draws a power play. So they're up 5-3. They have a power play. They have a chance to put this game away. The Kings refuse to go away. Trevor Moore roofs one on a breakaway, shorthanded. The assist to Danault at 11:39, and most importantly, the Kings finish the kill. Then at 14 minutes, Clark stuffs one in to tie it. He scores from Byfield and Kuzmenko. We have a 5-5 tie. Therefore, the 80s magnet hits the board for the first time in this season. I'm excited too. I think it's great the 80s magnet's on the board in night 2. I would imagine tomorrow night when there's 14 games, the 80s magnet's going to probably get a bit of a workout. But we go to overtime. So it's 5-5. We're going to overtime. Vegas controls early. Byfield's tonight on a turnover fast break. Like, these guys were in alone a lot. Laferriere fired one wide. He was in alone as well. So Vegas kind of sloppy in the overtime, but we go to the shootout. In the shootout, 2 LA Kings score, Kempe and Moore. So the LA Kings win this one in a shootout, 6-5. They go to 1-1. Vegas 0-1 on the season. So nice 2 points for LA. Kind of a sloppy way to get it, but points are points, right? Shots on net, 10-7 LA in the first, 16-6 Vegas in the second, 9-8 Vegas in the third, and 3-2 Vegas in the overtime. The final shots, 35-26 for the Golden Knights. Power plays, LA scored on the only one they had. They were effective and efficient. Vegas, 2 for 6 on their power plays. The hits, 37-36 for LA. Forsberg, 30 saves on 35 shots. He gets a victory. And Adin Hill, 21 saves on 26 shots. We'll see how things go for Vegas from here. There were a couple of goals there on Hill where I thought, I don't want to nitpick too much, but I thought those ones that he'll probably be saving once we get to November, but it's early in the season. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Ironically, there's 14 games tomorrow. I have a feeling I'll be recording earlier than I am tonight. That happens. All right, I'm done for now. Time to go to bed. But thank you guys so much for all your support as always. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. I had intended to wear a Draisaitl jersey in honor of his 400th goal, and then Calgary came back and won it. So that happened. But at any rate, yeah, congratulations to Leon on his 400th goal. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. I will talk to you again soon.